Welcome back to another episode of Rinks and Realities. And today, our guests are ourselves. It is me, Paul Trentini, and my amazing co-host, Travis Quigley. Travis, how are you doing?
I'm great, Paul. Great for a episode, just you and I. I mean, it's been a roaring start to the season with LISN, and figure we should just chop it up and talk about what's been going on.
I know. I feel like I can't get away from you. Like I feel like I'm seeing you. If I'm not seeing you at the rink, I'm online with you. I'm texting you with like this new podcast schedule we got going on. I feel like it's like all the time now.
Even if we're away from the rink, we're still seeing each other. Even at the rink, we're taking timeouts. Sometimes it's intermissions.
I didn't want to get in. I didn't want to get into it so early, but I guess we will. Today, I had my stomach, man, was
I'm sure you felt
banged up. I woke up this morning, and like the second I opened my eyes, I was like, "Ooh!" And not to diss the Timeout Cafe, I would die for the Timeout Cafe at the Rinks. They make some incredible food there. But I might have gotten a little bit too ahead of myself yesterday. And dude, I'm not even kidding you. For like, I got to the Hamlet at like 9 until like 12:31. Like it felt like I was just sitting with something all day. It was pretty bad, but I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. The chicken tenders and the mozzarella sticks at the Timeout Cafe are fantastic, and I would do it again. So
I said to you last night that there would likely be payback, so I'm not surprised.
It came a little bit later. You thought it was going to be a little more.
Yeah, I thought it was first game, like mid-second period. You're going to be like calling in Sam the righty, and no, that didn't happen. It held tied until today. Timeout Cafe. I won't diss, but I'm gonna stick to my famous Amos cookies.
I need a little bit more savory. Like I like the sweet, but like I can't fill up on sweet. I gotta get like some substance in my body.
I'm not filling up. I'm just having a snack.
Yeah, that's the difference. That's the difference between me and you. I'm filling up when I go there.
See, you can fill up because you're just ripping cam. You're taking a couple side steps, every couple minutes, a couple seconds. I gotta be talking. So like if I start talking and then I eat something and I'm like burping and like indigestion, and then I'm like, it's not good. Can't be having that.
I'm waiting for my my tolerance of standing for 6 consecutive hours to like build up, and I don't know if it's always taken this long, but like my God, like, I'm hurting every single time, and like I know it's really like. It's like champagne problems. Like, oh, I got to stand while I'm recording hockey games. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But like, I need to get to mid-season form sooner rather than later, because I can't do this. I'm getting sick of it.
I last week I was definitely. What are we in? What are we in? Week 3 now? Week 3 or week 4? Week 3?
I think week 3.
And I definitely, week 1 wasn't that bad because, we had the whole crew there, whole squad. So it was, not as much talking. Last week, I was feeling it, man. Oh my goodness. It was bad. I had to take an entire day off from speaking because my voice was shot. I was cooked. And called 6 games this week already, and I'm not doing too bad right now, I'm ready to go, ready to chop it up with you tonight, ready to go for Columbia and Farmingdale tomorrow night at the Ice Hutch.
Kidding me? Can't wait to christen the Ice Hutch.
Oh, the Ice Hutch is going to be christened with LISN A-Team royalty tomorrow.
Our boy Gabe DeCurry, he said the snack bar at the Ice Hutch is pretty nice. So
he did say it was prime. Like I said, it's probably been the last time I was at the Ice Hutch, and I know this for a fact. It was the last time I was at the Ice Hutch. I was playing for Applecore, and at that time I was working for Eric Nates. Eric Nates is one of the biggest skating companies, skating coaches on Long Island and in the Westchester area. Definitely up in the Westchester area prominently for sure. I mean, if you follow him on social media, he was posting stuff this summer. He was working with like Brett Pesci, Dom Fensore. Like he was working with Chris Kreider a little bit this summer. So definitely some big names that he worked with in the youth, now in the NHL, obviously. But I was working with him at the time as a skating instructor, which I don't even know how I got that job because I was not a good skater. But
you taking Brett Pesci for a spin?
Yeah, I definitely. I might. I don't know. I got to tell you the story about how one time we were supposed to have Brett Pesci come down to play for the Heat Daddies.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But last time I was at the Ice Hutch, it's like probably 12 years ago, and I was doing skating instruction there. And man, I just remember walking into one of those locker rooms, and I was like, "Whew, this is a little rough." I mean, I'm sure it's improved since 2016. I hope, but LISN will christen tomorrow.
Yeah, man. But with the season going along, I meant to ask you, how is this this year's Suffolk County High School Hockey League like? How do you feel about it so far? I mean, I feel like we got a couple of good games. We got a couple of teams that have, from last season, kind of shaken the table a little bit. Connecticut, Northport looks a lot better than they did last year.
Yeah. I mean, I think you obviously got your powerhouses, St. A's, Smithtown. They're always going to be there, and I think they've shown that in the early going here. I want to say the team that surprised me the most is probably the team we saw last night is Sachem. I mean, they're 3-0 through 3 games, and they put up 10 in their first game, 11 in their second game, and they put up 10 last night. So it's 31 goals through 3 games, and I want to say they've only given up like 3 or 4. They were one of the top teams last year. I want to say with their 3rd or 4th seed, and that's not to say that Sachem's ever not been a top program, but this season, I mean, they have really, really impressed me with how dominant they've been offensively and how structured they've been defensively. I mean, off the puck, I said it a couple times on the air last night. They're just all over it. Like, they just hound the puck. They don't give their opposition much time to think when they have the puck. So I'm looking forward to seeing Sachem throughout the season, and definitely looking forward to seeing once they play, St. A's, Smithtown, and as you just mentioned, I think Northport's going to give them a good game as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, so far, like, it's been a very interesting year, like, in terms of, like, seeing that. I mean, this is my 3rd season now with LISN, and, like, for the most part, the powerhouses, the St. Anthony's and the Smithtowns of the league, like, they're still who they respectively are, but like to see a team like Connecticut, like they played Ward Melville the other day and they won. It was a pretty good game. They had the lead early on. I think they kind of gave it up, but then they managed to capitalize and take the lead and finish off with a win. It's been fun. It's been nice to see a little change of the tide. But who impressed me yesterday?
Who's that?
Our very popular amongst the LISN airwaves is Austin Pagano.
In the freshman division, yeah.
In the freshman division for ESM. She is a stud, man. And I was telling Gabe beforehand, I was like, you got to watch this girl. I'm like, she is nuts.
Had a really, really good game last night. Tracks the puck really well. Again, not really. I'm not too familiar with what she does outside of the Suffolk County League. I see her play for ESM. I don't know where she plays travel hockey at, but I mean, what she shows in the Suffolk County League, and from what I know about hockey, it's not to say I know a lot, but I mean, she looks like she has the makings of what could be a Division I goalie for in women's hockey. Like, she is really, really good. Like I said, tracks the puck really well. Rebound control is off the charts. There was a couple of breakaways where just never faltered, held her ground, tracked the speed, tracked the puck well, didn't really bite. Just, like you said, all around solid game last night.
She plays for the Connecticut Junior Rangers.
Yeah,
or at least that's where she was She was 2 years ago. This is her
Good
elite
program.
prospects isn't updated, but for 14 years old,
Yeah, I mean,
unbelievable.
yeah, like I said, definitely I think could be a Division 1 goalie if all continues to progress the right way. Um, I think steering back to the varsity division, I wanted to get your opinion on this. Um, so I only got to see them play their first game. I don't know if they've even had another game since, but they impressed me in their first game. They played the Smithtown Hop Bulls. The scoreline wasn't very impressive, but this is a team that I think might have it rough this season, but I mean, looking ahead to next season, I think is going to be a team to watch out for is the Pat Med Raiders.
Hmm.
Sam Bickler in the cage, he's unbelievable. And I think they've got some pieces there. They were really good at JV last season. I think this year, varsity, it's going to be that learning curve. And then next year, watch out for those guys. They're going to take off. I don't know what you think about that.
No, that's what I was gonna just add. Like for a team that wasn't in varsity last year, like
Yeah.
it's they are definitely a team to watch. I mean, I would love to see all the new teams come up. I was hoping ESM was going to have a varsity team this year, but I understand like there's a lot of politics that kind of go into it and like the player distribution and everything. Because ESM, they weren't even in the league 2 years ago, and then they had a really nice showing. I think amongst like every league
Yeah, they
last
won.
year they were
They won
in.
the JV last year.
Yeah, so I was looking forward to see if they were going to have a varsity team, but yeah, I think you give it at least another year and it will fill out and they'll get that learning curve like you said, and then they'll all kind of come to that same age that like all some players age out, it evens it all out.
Yeah, I mean, you even said it to me. I want to say last week or 2 weeks ago that you see some guys that were in the varsity last season that were, uh, you know, not necessarily bottom end guys, maybe middle of the pack, and now they've had that learning curve. They've had that year of learning, that year of growth, and now they're, pardon me, taking off, and they're really excelling this season. So it's definitely been fun to watch. A lot of good hockey across all four divisions so far in the Suffolk League. Like like I said, there's a couple teams up top that you always know are going to be there. I think you got to watch out for Sachem. I think, like you mentioned, I think Northport's going to be a team to watch. JT Caruso can change a game by himself. He's got, I think, more help this year than he did last season, but he also he's got that ability, that uncanny ability that not a lot of players have, where if he's got the puck on his stick, he can influence and change the game in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, no, it's been a very fun season to watch, and it's cool to see the players like grow. It's another thing. It's cool because JT Caruso, he was on varsity last year, and he was always a good player, but like this year, it's just like like night and day. It's like he's scoring every single game. Like when he's got the puck on the stick, he's gonna make something happen, and it's also weird. Like it's weird, but it makes sense. Where it's like you look at a team like Smithtown Hop and you look through all their seniors and stuff, and you're like, how the hell are they going to rebound next year? And then it's like they don't miss a beat, and they're just the same exact squad.
That's just so much depth for Smithtown. It's obviously Smithtown hockey towns. A lot of hockey players live in those towns, which certainly helps so much. I think even another player, I think we can talk about a little individually here that's just grown so much is Cam Calber. I mean, last year he was one of the top players in the league last year. He's, in my mind, made an early case for best player in the league this year. Like,
yeah, I mean,
that kid just buzzes. He's a motor, absolute engine. His feet don't stop. He's gonna put up big numbers this season. And he will, if Sachem go far, he'll be a big reason why. He's really impressed me. I've called 2 of their 3 games so far, and he's really impressed me a lot. Just like I said, with the motor, shot, vision. Just he's just definitely, like I said, trying to make a case. I think early on that he's the best player in this league, and I think a little bit of it too. I think a little bit of also is they don't have Kevin Leisher this year. I think Kevin Leisher drew a lot of attention. I think he obviously such a phenomenal player. He's off playing in the Null right now. But I think that's allowed Cam Calber to kind of step up and be like, okay, this is my engine to drive here.
You know, Leisher was a pleasure to watch. It was cool. Like you could just tell that he was on a completely different plane than everybody else. And I won't forget that the Sachem Northport playoff game last year, where I think Northport was winning maybe by like two goals or whatever halfway through. Leisher wasn't there. Leisher shows up like midway through the second period, scores 5 goals, and they win the game. It was absurd. I really thought Northport might had a chance to squeak away, and then Leisher showed up and just like reminded everybody why he's in the Null right now.
Yep. 08 senior in high school right now, and he's got 8 points in 6 games for the Chippewa Steel, and 6 goals in 6 games, mind you. So he's ripping it up. Committed to Quinnipiac for the 27-28 season. Like, good hockey player, really good hockey player. And it's definitely, like I said, impressive what he's doing in the Null right now. So, but no, going back to Suffolk, it's been a lot of fun early on in the Suffolk season. Of course, a lot transpires throughout a season. We all know that, but first few weeks has been a ton of fun for sure.
Now, when you watch, because now this is your second full season that we're going into, because you joined us at the end of 2024, right? It was the end of 2024 you joined us? Yeah.
I want to say, yeah. It was like January 24. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so watching, like, is there any part of you that misses playing in the Suffolk County High School Hockey League? I know you had a very short stint there, but your West Islip, I love bringing it up. Your West Islip team, it's one for the books.
You know, I don't want to say I miss playing in the Suffolk County League. I definitely miss playing competitively, like a ton. Like that's definitely like not as much as when when I first was done playing in college. It was like I had that itch, that drive for like at least a full year. I was like, I still want to play. Like I want to do this. Now I'm like, every once in a while I'll pop up. Be like, now I'm like, I can't do it. My knees hurt, my back hurts, my hips hurt, everything hurts. I can't play. I can't play competitively anymore. Like it would be nice, but I'd probably get hit once and just crumble. But no, I will say it does pain me sometimes with West Islip. I just.
Like I
wish the results were better for the program. That's all I can say. Like I just wish the results were better for the program. I'm a North Babylon kid. Like North Babylon and West Islip are rivals, and like so that was the only time I ever liked West Islip was when I put on the hockey jersey. And like I don't know, I took a lot of. It was like a very prideful thing, I guess, for us winning the Suffolk County League when we did it, which, I mean, damn decade ago, 2015. But, no, it was like, it I guess, to us, it meant a lot because it was the first one that West Islip had ever won. And, I mean, unfortunately, the way it looks, it seems like it's going to be the only one they're ever going to win. But, no, I don't know. And I think, and I've said this before, and it's where I wish that there was a better developmental system and better developmental path. And I'm not, and this is not me pointing fingers at any program or the league or anything like that. This is just me kind of talking free flowing in how I think that things should be. And I don't know who has the power to make them this way, and I don't know if there is a power to make them this way. But what you see a lot in the Suffolk League, the Nassau League, whatever high school league, especially here on Long Island, once you get a little bit older, at the younger ages, you have those travel players playing and participating. But once you get up to JV and varsity, those top end travel players are not playing. They're focusing solely on travel, and that's okay. That's what they need to do for their own careers. That's what's best for them, and that's fine. My issue is, what are we doing for those players that aren't playing travel hockey? If we have them in our high school programs from developmental to varsity, what are we doing to make them better? Because obviously our travel players, they're going to travel, they're getting X amount of ice per week, they're going to travel, they're playing their X amount of games, they're doing a lot of stuff. What are we doing for our players that are just high school players? And how are we fostering their development in a productive way that helps improve their game year over year? And I'm not saying is going to put them on par with those travel players, but what are we doing to close the gap? And that's a question that I ask a lot.
No, it makes sense. Makes sense. And I mean, like, even for you only played 1 year of Suffolk because you were playing travel and it just wasn't really on your radar. And then for some reason, like, I think you even said, like, when you showed up to the West Islip tryout, they were kind of like, what are you doing here? Like, why, like, you have time for us?
Yeah. And to be completely honest, and I don't know if it's still viewed this way, and this is another reason why I think that the image and the way things are done needs to change a little bit, is it was almost looked at like a joke. Like, why am I going to play high school hockey? Why am I going to do that? It's a waste of time, Like, why am I going to play high school hockey? And I think that's what needs to be, like, you got to change that. You have to change that perception. That's the perception that, and I'm saying it, but it wasn't just me saying it. There was a lot of people, and there's a lot of players that played local travel hockey on Long Island that could have had the time and could have put the time into playing high school hockey, but didn't want to because they thought it was a joke. And for me, I just got to my senior year and I was like, you know what? Like, screw it. Let's do it. Let's just have some fun. Let's just see what happens, And it ended up being like one of the most fun years of hockey I ever had. I met a bunch of guys that I keep in contact with to this day. One of my friends, Austin Gordon, I was at his wedding a year and a half ago. Seeing his little baby girl walk around dancing. So it's like, it's like all this time later, still have friends that I keep in touch with. Like, one of my men's league teams is, I'm on the team because it's a bunch of guys that I played West Islip hockey with. And like, it's, again, some of my best friends from hockey for sure came from me playing West Islip. And I've never thought, wow, I regret not playing sooner. But I know I definitely probably would have regret if I didn't play my senior year.
Yeah, and that's kind of like where I was getting at when I say like watching these kids play. Like, do you miss it? Because it seems that it really was like hockey in its purest form. It like, for once, wasn't this like, I'm trying to impress these scouts, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to, like, you showing up. And I know West Islip's program it's much more of a conglomeration of like a couple of school districts and stuff. Yeah. So it is a little different from like a fan standpoint.
For sure.
But you see some of these kids, like KPC's fans, like, you go out there, like, so you're chopping it up with your boys that you go to school with or they live in the town over. You go out there, you score a hat trick. You got like half of your school up in the bleachers, like screaming their heads off. We had yesterday that I won't name him, but it was a kid from St. Anthony's who got into a little bit of a scrap, and he was tossed out of the game. And when he walked up into the crowd, it's like you got a standing ovation. And like, as cool as like travel is and like Apple Core is, like, I don't think there was a pack of Apple Core fans that were like coming to every single game other than like parents and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I mean, Applecore is a little different because we were in Long Beach, so you always
we were in Long Beach.
you always had the
It's a
Long
little
Beach crowd
different.
trickle in. But when I played for West Islip, I was playing juniors for the Long Island Royals at the time. So yeah, no, there was no fans coming from the Long Island Royals out of Dix Hills. We were, it was our parents, a couple friends maybe. So yeah, it was definitely different. And like you said, I think I think you put it in the perfect words. It's kind of its purest form. You're playing with your friends, you're playing with your buddies, and it's like you said. I think there's an element of pride that comes with it. It's almost like I kind of liken it to when you eventually get to college. You're proud. You have a lot of pride to wear your university, your college's logo. And I think it's the same way with high school. It's like you're proud to represent your school. I know I felt that. I mean, when I played soccer for North Babylon, it was like, all right, we're a really good team, and I'm proud to be on this team. Like, I feel, a sense of pride and importance when I put this uniform on. And I think that's exactly how it is when you're playing in high school. I'm proud to represent my school and play with my friends and just have fun and enjoy the experience. It's not that it's pond hockey, but it's kind of like pond hockey in a sense, or it's just, a good time.
I know. And when you played, there were a couple of teams that are no longer in the league there. Like, I know your boy and commonly known around Suffolk County airwaves, Between the Pipes, Brendan Perrone. He was on, what was it, St. John's?
Yeah, so Brandon St. John the Baptist, they were in the league. They had some good players that year. That was who we ended up, pardon me, beating in the championship best of 3. But yeah, they had Brandon Perrone, who went on and played Division I hockey at University of Alaska, LIU. Matt Arujo, he was the captain, Division III at SUNY Plattsburgh. He just signed his second contract in the East Coast League. So really good hockey player there. Chucky Peck, Chucky Peck's the best. He started and ended his career at the Rinks and never left. Started at Rinks House League, played PAL his entire life from youth hockey to juniors, played for St. John, so the Suffolk League's out of the Rinks, and then he went to Stony Brook, and Stony Brook plays at the Rinks. So his entire hockey career was at the Rinks.
Hey man, we had Robert Hyde on 2 episodes ago, and he's beginning and ending his career at the Rinks.
Yeah,
no, nothing wrong with that.
His entire career was at the Rinks. Like, we used to say it to him when I played juniors with him for PAL, and we used to joke with him all the time, like Chucky, we gotta they need to fucking put a plaque up for you. Pardon my French, but it's like they need to put a plaque up for you, dude. Like you're probably the longest tenured hockey player ever at the Rinks.
Now you only played PAL for juniors. That you only played that 1 year,
right? In junior hockey, yes.
Yeah. So you only played there 1 year, but I mean, you could definitely say you made your mark there. I mean, Mr. Sports Center top 10 over here. Not many people could say that. Now, everyone has a highlight reel goal at the Rinks, I feel, but to have one at the Rinks ice and make Sports Center top 10, and on top of it, you beat out McDavid. You outranked Connor McDavid on the Sports Center top 10 with the PAL Junior Islanders.
Yeah, that was kind of wild. So that was what, 2016. Yeah, so that's coming up on 10 years now. Once we hit January of 2026, that'll be 10 years, which is nuts to think of. But yeah, that was a wild one. I mean, I remember. So we're gonna backtrack a little bit. The week before that, we were supposed to go on a roadie up to Massachusetts or New Hampshire somewhere. We were supposed to have a 3-game weekend up in New England somewhere. But we got a really bad snowstorm. So snowstorm rolls in and they cancel the games. They're like, we're not traveling. Like, it's just not happening. So, like, we had one hockey house that year for, like, a bunch of the out-of-town guys. They lived in a house in Bayshore down by the water. Sick. So we're like, there was probably, like, 10 of us. We're like, boys want to get snowed in at the hockey house? So we get snowed in at the hockey house. And it was, like, 48 hours of absolute just mayhem. Mayhem. So, like, it took a little while, we're sitting on the couch, we're having adult beverages, I think we're watching just, like, Division 3 football's finest on rerun, because, like, that was the movie for the team that year. It was just, like, the funniest movie of all time. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but highly endorse it. Oh, dude. Hilarious movie. That's a footnote. You're going to have to watch Division 3 football's finest. It's so dumb, but absolutely hysterical. Anyways, we get snowed in. Adult beverages are flowing. And long story short, towards the tail end of the snowstorm, I burnt my hand. So I had a giant burn blister on my thumb for, like, that whole week. It was massive, and it just kept growing, essentially until it popped. My coach was, like, an ex-FDNY guy, so he was, like, pressing me, and I'm just like, nothing happened, yada, yada, yada. Just concealing the real story, which I'm also going to conceal the real story here. I'll tell you the real story off the air.
I got a good story to keep going.
But, so yeah, I was playing that whole week practice with my hand wrapped up, like, so I didn't mess up the burn. And I went into that game with my hand wrapped up with the burn. So I remember we got into the first intermission. My hand was kind of bothering me. I'm like, something's a little off. Like, I don't know what's going on here. Like, whatever. I'm not unwrapping it right now. I'll worry about it after the game. And so we go out in the second period. I remember I started the second period, and that's when I scored the goal. And it was so funny. It was like I went in on the forecheck, but, like, kind of just, like, half-assed it. And they went to go clear the zone, and we just kept the puck in. And I just posted up in front of the net. I turned, I saw we just kept it in. I just posted up, and he hit me with the pass. And it was just, like, first instinct. I'm like, I caught the pass on my forehand. I was like, first thought I had was between the legs. And I was kind of off on the right side of the net. Well, it would have been my right because my back was to the goal. So I guess the goalie's right too. And I caught the pass, pulled it between my legs, and went shelf, hit the back bar. And it was just like, I kind of just, like, blacked out. I won't even lie. I just kind of, like, blacked out. Like, I just remember, like, I didn't even see the puck go in. I just saw it, like, come out so fast that I knew it went in. And I was just like, all right, bow and arrow. Like, I'm fired up. Adrenaline's flowing. Like, let's go. Juiced. And then, like, it was sick because probably, like, 6 minutes later, they get a breakaway. And this was the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. They get a breakaway. My goalie, Eric Tatarian, goes for a poke check. Kid pulls it to his backhand and tries to go shelf. And Eric reaches back and just snags it with his glove. It was unreal. Like, absolutely meant to do it. It wasn't like, it was just like, it was desperation. But, like, he was trying to catch it. And he caught it. And it was incredible. So, yeah, I was 3. He was 2. We beat out McDavid. It was unreal. It was unreal. We lost the game 4-2.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah, you didn't have any more of those between the legs in your pocket. You didn't have any more of those behind the back catches.
Yeah, no, lost the game 4-2. But no, I remember, like, it was a couple days after. It was like middle of the week, like a Wednesday or something. That was like a Saturday night game, I want to say. So I want to say it was like a Tuesday or Wednesday. And all of a sudden, like, my phone, like, I'm kind of blowing up. I'm getting Twitter notifications from the USPHL. I'm like, whoa, why is the USPHL tweeting at me? And it was essentially like, the USPHL like tweeted at me. It was like, tune into Sports Center later. And I'm like, huh? You know? And then like another guy who worked with PAL at the time, Pete Judge, he's a OHL scout, really knowledgeable guy, good guy, Pete Judge. He also tweeted something, was like, gonna have 2 PAL highlights on Sports Center Top 10 tonight. And we're like, and then like, the team group chat's blowing up. We're like, boys, what's going on? And me and Tats, Eric Tatarian, were like, we have no idea. Like, we're in the dark on this. It's completely like, we got no clue what's going on. So we got to tune into Sports Center. It's like the 10 o'clock episode, 11 o'clock episode. And then how Sports Center is. Like, they don't show the top 10 until the end. So you're sitting there, you're waiting. And then like finally it comes through and you're like, damn, I was just on Sports Center's top 10. It's like John Buccigross just gave me the run through. Like, he's talking about my goal. He just called Eric's save the greatest glove save he's ever seen. Like, what?
I feel like, yeah, it's like Sports Center Top 10. Like, that's something that's thrown around a lot. Like, you'll be in the backyard with your friends, like, throwing the pigskin around. You'll make, like, a crazy catch, and someone will be like, oh, like, that'll be on Sports Center tonight. Like, it's always just taken so, like, as a joke. Like, no one actually thinks, at least that, even though the PAL, like, USPHL, like, that's a high level, but, like, you're not thinking, like, oh, if I have a nice goal here, I'm going to be on Sports Center Top 10.
Yeah, no, it was wild. Like you said, it's like you never think you're gonna have a clip on Sports Center Top 10. It's like, what? Like,
at the Rinks.
Yeah, it's wild. So like, I remember it was like, I had just I had graduated high school at that point. That was my first year out of high school. But I remember like the next day, like, I was getting texts all day long, and like, I remember people were texting me like, was that you on Sports Center this morning? And I'm like, yeah, that was me. Like, trying to play it off like humbly, but it's like, yeah, that was me. It was cool, man. And then like, even like kind of cooler, it was like, the clip took off on like Hey Barber and like a couple other hockey pages. So it was like, a couple 100,000 views at, one goal raked in that I scored. And it was like, when you're 18, 19 years old, it's like, that's huge ego boost, one, but it's like, this is sick. Now looking back on it, it's like obviously a really a cool and fond memory to have.
It's a nice, like, just like sitting around the fire, kind of like, you want to hear something crazy? Like,
yeah,
I remember when you told me, I was like, you sent me this link. I'm like, what am I watching this for? Like, what? Like, I think the first clip in the top 10 is like a Ben Simmons pass. It's like, why am I watching this? And then all of a sudden, like, it's like number 3, Travis Quigley between the legs. I was like, oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, no. I mean, what's even funnier about that is, so this is, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 months later. You remember last week I was talking about my teammates on Applecore, the Freetmans, Bruiser and Bo.
Yeah.
Well, it turned out we were playing the South Shore Kings in that game. Turned out Bruiser was on the South Shore Kings. So we're on the bus, and this was like his first weekend on the team. And we're sitting on the bus, we're traveling out, God knows where. And he looks at me, he's like, man, I got a question for you. Are you the same Quigley that was on PAL last year? I'm like, yeah. He's like, F you, man. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I was on the ice for that between the legs goal. Thanks for the dash. I'm like, no way. So like, I'm literally sitting there. I'm like, good thing I got the clip on my phone. Let's rewatch it, Bruiser. So like, I go back and rewatch it. He's like, Yep, there I am. You could see me shaking my head because, like, I was like, I think he was the one who like threw it up the wall and didn't get it out,
You
and
know,
then
that's something.
just left me alone in front.
That's something that, like, as much as you think you like that you're never gonna make it on Sports Center Top 10, to like to be on Sports Center Top 10 for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
That's like a
Oh
complete,
yeah.
like, you're staying up late at night. You're just like, you're frustrated about how that game went or whatever. A couple days later, you just see you gotta have it played over and over again.
Oh,
That's unbelievable.
it went the other way because, like, for Eric Tatarian's save, we were giving crap to Matt Arujo. He was on that PAL team, and he got burnt to give up the breakaway. So we were like, Rouge, how's it feel, dude? Sports Center Top 10, gotcha. Tatarian really saved you.
It was such a bad turnover that it resulted in Sports Center Top 10.
Oh, but yeah, like I said, man, definitely. Now I look back on it, it's like a lot of fun, fond memory, really cool to look back on, and like, awesome that like it's on YouTube, so like I can show my kids and grandkids one day.
Yeah, right. I mean, I wish it was a better recording, in my
opinion. Yeah.
But it's still something. It's better than the recording of me on Sports Center Top 10. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I do have a clean recording. I have a clean shot of it. It was hard to get my hands on that, but I do have it somewhere buried in the files in the archives.
Oh, the archives. But so after, I mean, you were only PAL for 1 year, and then you made your stint back with the Apple Corps. I remember you mentioning last week that you were like the last person of like 16 to get into the Apple Corps, but then you left the Apple Corps, but then you went back to the Apple Corps. Like, how'd that exactly go?
Oh, so like when I went to Apple Corps, so like I had mentioned last week, we had our coach Bill Salengo, and yeah, like I said, he coached us for one game. Came in the room after and said he got the job at NCAA D3 Castleton. So we got a new coach, Graham Johnson, and Graham came in. We were playing throughout the season, and we got to like in juniors, the trade deadline's usually like beginning of February. And it had been announced that the NCDC was starting, so we weren't doing too hot with Apple Corps. I wasn't really like having a good time. So I thought I just needed a change of scenery. So I'd walked in and respectfully asked for a trade. And it was kind of made known to me, and the Rockets at that point were pushing really hard to try to get me. I had a couple buddies on the Rockets team that year that really wanted me to come down and join them. Rockets already tried to trade for me once earlier in the year, but I had said no. I wasn't ready to go at that time. So it got to a point when I did request a trade, it was kind of like I was requesting to go to the Rockets. But in a way, they didn't really want to fulfill that. So it came down to like essentially trade deadline day, which was ironically like Super Bowl Sunday. And they offered to trade me to the Bandits. And I didn't really want to go that far away from home. I liked being close to home. I liked, especially at that time, like the access to home. So I wasn't ready to go that far away from home. I really kind of had my mind and heart set on the Rockets. So at that point, I was like, I kind of just asked for my release. I was told they released me. So Rockets picked me up. I went to go play my first game for the Rockets, drove down to Jersey, and I got there and met the whole team, was ready to go, and essentially coach was like, yeah, so there was a problem registering you. They told you that they released you, but they never actually did. And at that point, it was past the deadline. So I was in limbo. It was like I'm an Apple Corps player, but like technically I'm not right now. I'm kind of just like nobody. So I was stuck on the couch for like 2 weeks. It was tough, man. Um, and then the Apple Core guys, they had a team meeting essentially where they came together. I know there were some guys who didn't want me back, and that's fine. But as a team, they voted and wanted to have me back. Then went and spoke to our coaching staff and said, "Hey, we want Quiggs back." Um, I went to the rink and sat down with the captains and spoke with them, and was graciously welcomed back onto the team despite like trying to leave. To put it bluntly, trying to leave. So they welcomed me back onto the team with, I don't know, a few weeks left on the season, and we went on a run from there. And again, got a lot of good friends still from Apple Core, and we were a good group. I think it was just we were kind of lost on how to play and structure and all that stuff. And I think by the time we put it all together, it was too late.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like I said, it was kind of like I got to a point where I was ready. I knew, as like I said last week to you and Joe, like I was going into my age out year the next season. The NCDC was being formed. It was being touted as this, comparison to the NAL League. And I knew that if I wanted one last shot at trying to go D1, that was it. And I had to be in the NCDC. And I had to be somewhere that would foster that. And that was my thought process. So I remember the end of Apple Core, during playoffs, I got hit from behind and I broke my humerus. So I couldn't do anything. Funny? Yeah, no, it was not funny. It was not funny at all. It was brutal, actually. I couldn't lift my arm above my head for like 3 months, something like that. It was tough. But yeah, it was like 3.5 months without doing anything. And I remember the first time I skated was at Rockets NCDC camp. And like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I lit it up. Like, it was like I lit it up. It was like, again, like it was like I wasn't in the gym. I wasn't doing anything. It was the first time I had done any like physical activity in 3.5 months. I was so out of shape, but I still like I had a really, really good camp. Like we played 3 or 4 games, and then there was the All-Star game. So like played the 4 games, and I made the All-Star game. And in all 5 games, I had, and again, this is not me trying to toot my own horn, over exaggerate or anything. I had like 10 goals and 4 assists. I had like 14 points in 5 games at the NCDC camp. I was flying high. I was so juiced. I'm like, let's go. Like I was feeling myself. Walk in for, and at that point I had already signed a premier contract with the Rockets as safety. Their coach, who ends up like I love this man, Jason Kilcoyne. He's easily the best coach I ever had in my life. I already signed a premier contract with him as like my safety net, but I had the goal of NCDC. I remember walking in, and J-Dog looks at me and he's like, well, you scored a shit ton. Not surprising to any of us, And I was like, hell yeah, And then the NCDC coach was like, yeah, but you're not in my 40. And I was like, it was like a shock, I'm like, really? What do you, huh?
I just outscored all your guys. I
just outscored
your 40.
Yeah, okay. All right. What do you got for me? And then like he essentially just started talking about like guys at camp that were like put up kind of similar numbers to me, but would like fight. And I was like, that's not my look at me, bro. I'm not a fighter. I'm not a fighter. I'll stand up for myself, but I'm not a fighter. And I was like, okay, took it on the chin, whatever. Went to Premier Camp, started Premier really well, started on a tear, and NCDC started floundering. They started the season like 0-7. So I got called up, and ironically, the first game that I played for NCDC was at home. It was at Northwell against PAL. So it was like, damn, this is good. This is good omen, good stuff. Like I'm gonna get to play at home. I felt really good going into the game. Felt awesome. Get out there. I mean, I was playing on the second line, I'm pretty sure. Get out there. Pick up an assist early on. It was like early second period, get an assist. Fired up. Let's go. Like halfway through the second, there's like a scrum in front. And my helmet gets ripped off. I'm like, whatever. Like, jawing back and forth with this dude. He's much bigger than me, like 6'4", like Slovakian dude, Czech dude, wherever he was from. I think he was from Czech. Like 6'4" Czech dude. He's like much bigger than me, but like I'm just jawing back and forth, nothing crazy. He knocks my helmet off. So I'm like, okay. Go to pick my helmet up, and as I'm like bending down to pick my helmet up, dude just jumps me. Like takes his throws his gloves off, just jumps me. And I'm like, I'm like just trying to figure out what's happening right now. You know what I mean? So I'm like, he started to throw punches. I'm like kind of like covering up and just like UFC, like dodging, just avoiding. So I'm like, again, I'm just trying to figure out what's happening. I'm like, what's going on? He's like just trying to hit me with uppercuts, like I'm just trying to bend down and pick up my helmet. Dude doesn't land one punch. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's going to like, I think he's going to like let off and like at least let me maybe drop my gloves to start like, maybe we could square up and like do this, Instead, dude grabs me by like my back, like back here, and like judo hip tosses me onto the ice. Slam my head on the ice. I'm like a little dazed, I'm like, what's going on here? Like, what the fuck was that? And I'm like, okay, whatever. He's going to get tossed out of the game. I might get it. Like, whatever. I didn't do nothing wrong. Next thing you know, I'm getting thrown out. I'm like, whoa. Huh? So I get thrown out of the game. And I'm like, losing my mind. I'm pissed. Like, at home, first game. Whatever. We go into the next weekend showcase. And, like, it was 3 games. I played the first 2. And he scratched me the third one. And he called me into his office, and he was sending me down to Premier. And he literally said to me, it's because I didn't fight. And I'm like, what? And I said back, I literally said to him, I was like, do you want me to be a fighter? Do you want me to score goals? I thought you called me up to score goals for you, Long story short, went back down to Premier. He got fired a few weeks later. New coach came in. I got called up again, and I had a game with them, with NCDC against the CT Junior Rangers. Me and my Premier captain, we got called up, and I had like the game of my life. It was unreal. And it was funny because a kid I played Apple Core with was on CT Rangers, and I'll never forget. We didn't really get along on Apple Core, but it was like we had respect for each other. And I remember at the handshake line, he was like, you should be at this level full time. And like, that was like reassuring for me. Like I knew it within myself, but like having a peer say it to you, it's always like a good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But it got to a point where I was just like, the NCDC for Rockets that first year was a revolving door. The coaching staff was just in and out, fired, new guy, not committed. It was a mess. And they wanted me to be on NCDC for the rest of the season. And I made the decision as a, 20-year-old man at that time that I just wanted to stay on Premier. And I recognized that was closing the door on any potential last hope Division I offer I could have gotten. But I think in my heart and hearts, I knew at that stage I was going D3, and I just wanted to have fun. I wanted to be on a good hockey team that was fun, and my Rockets team was a really good team that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun guys. We were a really fun group, and we won a lot of hockey games, and that's all I was looking for. Like I said, Jason Kilcoyne, he's now coaching in the EHL for the New Jersey Bears. Best coach I ever had. Um, I I respect him so much. His knowledge for the game, um, the way he sees things, how he treats his players. Um, you know, you, you deal with a lot of coaches where like they go on power trips and they're in it for themselves. They're not in it for the guys. And Jason's one of the few guys I've really been around that is in it for the players. He's not in it for the paycheck he's getting. He's not in it to make a name for himself or you know, blow up his ego. He genuinely cares about the players that he coaches, making them better hockey players, making them better human beings, and advancing them to the next level. And that's why my brother went and played for him. That it was super cool that my brother got to win a USPHL Premier Championship with the Rockets and Jason. And it was like, in a way, it was kind of like fulfilling for me. It was like we kind of started that, you know. So yeah, can't say enough good things about Jason Kilcoyne and my time playing Premier at the Rockets. Like that was on par with playing West Islip, like some of the most fun I ever had playing hockey.
And then we had a trip for LISN this summer, and we were in New Jersey, and we were what was it, Somerset? We were in
Somerset, Bridgewater.
We were like right in like your old junior stomping ground, and you're like, I used to come here all the time. The rink was up this way, blah blah blah. We stop at a Wawa, and you're like, oh my god, that's the taco place I'd go to all the time. Like, you were like, you were really feeling it. And then one night you even were like, I'm going to the taco place. Like, I'm going in. You walked in right before closing, and Brannigan was like asking them to like throw a whole new thing on the grill.
Yeah. Like, buddy, you can't do that right now. They close in 15 minutes. Like, we're just getting the scraps, like, and we're gonna accept it. But no, man. It was like you said, it got me like in my feels a little bit. It was like this was good times. It genuinely good times, genuine happiness, genuine laughter and fun with good people, good teammates. Like I said, good hockey memories for sure. Not the outcome we wanted that year. We thought we were going to win the whole league, but we didn't. But that's how it goes sometimes.
You could definitely say that. I mean, but you did end up getting your happy ending when you eventually went to college.
Yeah. I mean, you could definitely say that. I mean, I can.
Happy beginning. It's like weird because you won like, what was it, your first year? Oh, there it is. There it is. And I show your West Islip ring.
I don't got a ring for that. But that was my freshman year. Was an experience too, man. At SNU, it was a lot of fun. I ended up making the decision to go there because my roommate and teammate on Applecore, and then my teammate on the Rockets, Dom DeMombro. He's still one of my best friends to this day. I talk to him almost as much as I talk to you, Paul. But yeah, we went to SNU together, and it was a great experience. I started that season. It was a wild one for me that year because I started that season as the last forward on the depth chart, 16 out of 16. So it was like an uphill battle for me all the way, And I remember before the season starts, you always play like an exhibition, and everyone plays in the exhibition. And I played really well. I scored the first goal, I had an assist, and I just had a really good game. So I did enough to work my way up from 16 to 13. So I was the extra forward in the lineup my first game. And got an assist in the first period. And it was like, again, just when I got my chances, I took them, played really well. That lasted for like 7-8 games. Then I got scratched, and I was scratched for a decent amount. Went into the second semester, kind of the same role. I was mostly 13th forward. Sometimes it was funny. Like my role was either like I was 13th forward or like second line power play. It was like no in between. It was no in between. It was second line forward. It was second line power play, 13th forward, or scratched. It was one of those three. I had no other spot. And And then as the season kind of progressed, I continued in that 13th forward spot, but got scratched again for a few games, came back, and then it was like the last like 2-3 weeks of the season. Settled in and kind of found my role on the fourth line, which was so odd for me. But I was on the fourth line with Dom, and our center was Andy Somerville. He's one of the best two-way guys I've ever played with. He's my captain last 2 years, or last year, pardon me. We kind of formed a nice role of the fourth line of like 3 freshmen, energy, like. We're going to be responsible defensively. We might chip in for a goal or two, and we're just going to do our job. And, we locked in our spot in the lineup the last few weeks of the season, and was fortunate enough to be in the lineup semifinals against St. Michael's at home, where we won, and, even more fortunate enough to be in the lineup for the championship game against St. Anselm on the road. And I don't know I'm sure I will, but like in that regard, I don't know if I'll ever feel that feeling of euphoria again.
And like that athletic kind of accomplishment.
Yeah, it was
possible.
Yeah. Like being on the mountaintop. You battle all season long in a hockey season. You go through so many trials and tribulations, ups and downs, in the weight room, in the rink, out of the rink. You're doing school, you're doing everything, and it's in a 5-month period between October and March, 6-month period, whatever it may be. So it's like, it's a battle. And when you get to, when that buzzer sounds and you're like, we did it, that euphoric feeling lasted for so long. It was incredible.
Yeah, it's new. They kept wanting the trophy, and then you guys would like take the trophy back out of the case. There's another uphill battle of your own trophy.
We did some damage to that trophy, so it was understandable why they wanted it, but we earned it. They can't take that trophy from us. And I get a laugh sometimes. I'll go back. I would laugh when I was at school, and I'd walk past the trophy case, and I'd see it, and I'd just be like, oh. Look at all these other trophies. They're in mint condition, and ours is just busted. But we had fun, and it was earned fun, And like I said, nobody can take that trophy from us. Nobody can take those rings from us. We put in the work. We conquered the competition. We did everything that we had to do to achieve our goal, and we did. And it's again right up there. It's one of the proudest, most fond memories I have from hockey. It's something I cherish, and the reason why I keep my ring next to my bedside, so I can kind of see it every day, just to kind of remind myself that you put in a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifices. Your family put in a lot of sacrifices, and it's just kind of that constant reminder of you achieved your goal.
Yeah. Now we won't get too into the rest of your time at SNU, because I know we probably don't have enough time with the editing it would take to bleep out all the expletives you maybe have for a certain somebody who may not have just been asked to take a leave. But beyond that, now you now have moved on beyond your elite hockey days. I mean, actually, that's a bad phrase to use, because you still play in the best men's league on Long Island, the SHL.
I will say, in my hockey time, the greatest compliment I ever received from a coach, his name's Josh Hand. He coached me in summer hockey. He was the best summer coach I ever had. He's the head coach for Lehigh University. Very smart, intelligent man. He coaches at the USA Festival every year. And it was hilarious. It was the nicest compliment I ever received. He said I had NHL hands, AHL speed, but the strength of a 5-year-old. And I was like, those 3 lines perfectly sum up my hockey career.
But but you moved on from that, and now you play in a competitive men's league where, in a weird way, you actually play against some of the tougher singular opponents that you've ever played against, but it's in a men's league. You're actually playing against guys who are in the NHL.
Yeah.
I.e. James Higgins, Bobby Trevino, Shane Pinto, Matt Coronado.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's weird how it's like you're done with like your competitive hockey, and now you're actually playing NHL players, which is weird. But I mean, I guess everyone's got a different route. I guess that's the way to phrase it.
I've been playing in the SHL since I was 18 years old, 19 years old. So it's been a while. But it's like the best thing to look forward to in the summer because it's like semi-competitive. We go kind of hard. We're not trying to take each other's heads off, but we go kind of hard, and it's really good hockey. And it was great when I was playing juniors in college because it was like it forced me to think faster. It forced me to play the game quicker, be better with my decision making and things like that. And that's what you want. You want to be playing against guys that are better than you because it's going to make you ultimately better. And it's awesome because, a lot of those guys too, it's like, I say this a lot, I say it all the time, but the Long Island hockey community is so tight knit. We all know each other. So it's great getting to see those guys in the summertime. It's great getting to see guys like Corns, Brandon Chabrier, who's up at Maine right now, Marshall Warren, who's, just had a great preseason for the Islanders, going to be playing for Bridgeport this season. Like, I've known Marshall since he was 5 years old, 6 years old. He played mites for my dad at the Gulls. So I've known Marsh forever. So it's awesome getting to see him in the summertime, just being on the ice with him, chopping it up. Just like I said, just having the local guys around and having our own little competitive atmosphere is a blast. It's definitely the highlight of the summer for sure, hockey-wise.
But now moving on to, I guess, career-wise, this podcast it's not called Rinks and Realities for no reason. Like, so you were playing in the rinks, you played, you had your touch of travel, Suffolk, juniors, college, even men's league is like, for some reason, really impressive. But now you're commentating. You're now the voice of a lot of Long Island hockey. And how has that transition been like? Because I know I never played at the level that you played, but like even I am like damn, like I miss like being this youthful and like playing in these types of moments. And what is it like to now be like the narrator for a lot of these kids' moments?
I like that you put it in that way, like narrator. And I think honestly, it kind of goes back to the kid in me. Not to get too like emotional or sappy, but like I truthfully, like, I got into broadcasting really after my grandfather passed away. And I got into broadcasting at school, as I've kind of told you that story a million times. I was cameraman for my first 2 years there. Came back from COVID and then started doing play-by-play. And what really inspired me to kind of do it was obviously after my grandfather passed away, I guess just trying to like keep in touch and stay with him and what he taught me and everything. And what always like kind of stuck with me is he always told a story, and I don't physically remember this, but he always told a story where he took me to an Islander game. I was probably 3 years old, 4 years old. I was pretty young. So this was 2000 or 2001. And I would say 2001 because Alexei Yashin was on the team. This was like a two-part story. He would always tell a story, though. He would always say, we were at the game, we're sitting in the wherever section, and I was commentating the game. I was pretending that I was Howie Rose, and I was commentating the game. And like he would always say, he'd be like, the random strangers around us were like, whoa, this kid knows his stuff. And they're like so impressed because you were like 4 years old. um, and like bouncing off that, there was also a fan who yelled, hit him with your purse next time, Yashin. So I like turned to my grandpa and I was like, Yashin has a purse? So like he would always like always bring that up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, all times.
Yashin has a purse?
Yeah, all time. So he would like always tell that 2-part story. He'd always be like, "Yeah, like you were commentating the game, and everyone around was like, this kid's really good." And then you asked me if Yashin had a purse.
That is incredible.
So yeah, no, but I guess long-winded going back to your question. Like that's what got me into it, and it was like the more I did it, the more I obviously fell in love with it, and enjoy it, and have the passion for it. And now I look at it and I think like how cool it would have been when I was that age to have somebody, especially like the high school guys. I have so much fun doing the college games. That's a blast. But like, especially for the high school games, the younger kids, I always try to think of it like how cool it would have been to have somebody commentating my game. So it's like, how can I, and I can't hit Brannigan levels of this, but like, how can I best bring forth excitement, and narrate this game in an entertaining, meaningful way that will help create memories for these kids' highlights.
Oh, and that's really cool.
Yeah, and like that's I guess kind of the drive for it, especially in doing the high school games. It's like, how can I help amplify these moments for these kids? How can I bring out those emotions and reactions? Because that's what it is. It's happiness, it's joy, it's fun, and it's my job to help exemplify that. So I guess that's just the way I try to think about it and approach each game, even at the college level. It's been cool. Like now that obviously I have a relationship with a lot of guys throughout the college ranks. Like especially over at Columbia, I've become friends with a bunch of those. A bunch of players over there. Farmerdale, I'm friends with those guys. But now that my brother's on Farmerdale, it's kind of funny having like him on the inside and like hearing stories from him where guys are like Joe, I love your brother. Like his calls are awesome. Like he's like he's like, dude, like your brother called me blocking a shot. It was sick. Like,
or how about you just told me yesterday that is he bringing it up again? Shout out Kevin Somas. He's got the new intro music for
yeah.
It's like EDM, but it's like boom boom, let it go, boom boom, da, da, da. Like it's like a Travis Quigley EDM special.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, that's cool, man. Like Columbia had their like preseason hype video that they made, and like it's just like again bunch of my calls, and it's like that's cool. It's super cool. And not that I don't get stimulated by hearing my own voice, that's for sure. But like it's cool, like you said, being able to be the narrator for all that.
Yeah, it's something that's really special. I mean, even I try, and even though I work the camera, like whenever a kid it's usually in Suffolk, because like I just remember when I was like that age, like the goals meant more, and like when somebody scores a sick goal and like developmental or freshman, like I try to zoom in and like just get this kid and like capture his just little like just like really like rocking it, because that's something that I always wished I had when I was playing. Like I've had some maybe my mind is just playing a little trick on me, but like back in the day I thought they were pretty nice cellies.
Yeah.
And like I would like to be able to be like, oh, I had this wicked celly, blah, blah. That's a PSA for any of you kids. You want your celly on a nice angle, don't celebrate towards the crowd. Go away from the crowd. So
go to
don't
the camera.
Like point to the camera, that'd be awesome. But like when you celebrate at the rinks, when you celebrate anywhere, yeah, if you celebrate towards the fans, the boards, like the angle, it just isn't good.
It's not right.
You go by the benches, man. I'm getting you high definition. That camera's 4K, baby. I'm getting everything.
Yeah, no, you're right. And That's great.
Hey, you want the call? How about the Selly and the call? That's what you really want.
The Selly game's been on fire. These kids have come up with new Sellies that I haven't seen before. I'm like, geez, where'd you think of that one? That was good.
He's like, they're all of them
like when I was growing up, it was just the bow and arrow. It was like guys were just learning that you could sweep the ice.
I was very like whenever I played, like I was pretty just kind of like like let's go, and then I was never like scooping. I was around. I was playing when like the dab was popular, and like there was a lot of people like they'd score and they hit the dab. I mean,
when I was in my youth hockey and junior hockey days, I was hardcore Ovechkin Selly. Like I remember the guy who called our Rockets games used to say, and this was like the truth, like. There was nobody who had more fun than me because like I'd score a goal and just go bananas. But it was like, people took it the wrong way, but it's like it was genuinely me just having fun. I was just like, and like this is something I look back on in my career throughout my whole career. I know I rubbed a lot of people the wrong way when I played hockey because I would get pissed off super easy. Like I would, my emotions would show super like high, low, no matter what. I was always all over the board, like. But that was just because of like how much I loved hockey and like how bad I wanted to win and just like how passionate I was about the game. It took me a while to realize that until I like, got a little older. But like I just loved being out there and just playing. Like there was no better feeling than scoring a goal. And
I know.
Like you said, you've had that feeling, and I know those kids have that feeling. Like you score a goal and you're on top of the world. Doesn't matter if it's your first goal or your 1,000th goal.
I was one of those people, man, and like honestly, like that's kind of what landed me on hockey. I'm one of those people, no matter what sport it is, like I want to be scoring. Like I'm not this like defensive player in basketball. Like I want to be hitting threes. I want to be driving the basket. In football, like I'm sorry, I can't be this like pass blocking, run blocking. Like I want to catch a touchdown in the end zone. In soccer, I want to be scoring goals. Like I can't play defense, and that's how I was with every sport. But hockey seemed to be the only one where I actually would score. So that's why I tend to stick to it, because I actually do what I wanted to do in that sport.
Yeah, I mean, when I played soccer, I wanted to score the goals. I wanted to be the striker, the attacker. And I got to a certain age. I got to like 16. And it got to a point where it's like, I couldn't score anymore. Like, I just couldn't score in soccer anymore. So then I got moved out wide. And it was like, it sucked because I was like, I want to score.
Yeah, and I remember just be funneling the ball through. Like,
yeah, I remember varsity. Year. Going into my senior year, we would always play summer league for soccer. So I'm playing summer league, and my coach is playing me up top as a striker. And I'll never forget. It was like one game, I had like 5 like golden opportunities, missed all of them. That was it. I like blew my chance of being the striker that season. So then from then on, I was just a winger. And it was like, well, this sucks. How do I make this work now? But worked out. I ended up being like the first man off the bench in soccer that year. Had my name in the paper because I had a assist in overtime against Riverhead.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it was sick. Newsday Sports wrote about me.
Newsday, Sports Center, like what aren't you doing?
Again, not tooting my own horn, but I was a decent athlete back in my day.
this horn is well worn, the amount of times you've been tooting it.
I was a decent athlete in my time. Now, I mean, you asked me to run a mile, it'd probably take me 25 minutes, but...
Can't ask you to carry the table up to the nest without you giving me some sort of side compliment or side backhand. Like, you can't do it.
I carry the table. What do you mean?
You do it, but with some like, all right, I'll carry the table.
I'll take the table. I got the table. I'll take it. No problem. I'm just an old man, I'm older than the rest of the crew. I think you guys forget that,
Yeah, well
my body's well worn.
Brannigan's up there with you, but we always forget that he's only like a year younger than you.
Yeah.
He's a young soul.
I don't know what it is with
like,
Brannigan. He's a young old soul. I have no idea.
he's the only other person that we've been mentioning on the LASN crew this entire time. No Brady, no Wally, no Johnny. Just been. Actually, we mentioned Sam one time.
Johnny's minus points right now because he's not going to be at New Haven. He wasn't at New Haven last week. He'll be at New Haven this week, so I might have to smack him around a little bit this weekend when I see him on Sunday.
He's already at minus points for me because two things actually. One, because he goes to Fairfield now, and Farmingdale and Fairfield.
That's your rival, yeah.
That's like
that's your
water
hockey
and
rival.
oil. Water and oil just don't mix.
Yep.
And the second one being in his little summer recap Instagram post he had a whole picture of LISN, like it was a selfie I took when we were all on the subway in Baltimore, and I'm the only one who didn't get tagged. I'm the guy who took the photo. Like you see my face like right in the foreground, and I didn't get tagged in it.
No tag for you.
Whatever.
Yeah. Johnny's down 2 strikes with Paul, so he needs to do some recovering there.
I believe in the kid.
Yeah,
I believe.
I mean, I'm excited. We're getting more into the college season now. I think, I'm
excited to get to my first Farmingdale game this year.
Yeah, Farmingdale M2s look solid, man. I think they're gonna be able to make a solid push towards the ACHA regionals and potentially secure that nationals bid. Like we said, you and I making the trip to Columbia tomorrow, so we'll get their first look at Columbia this season and see how they're doing. I mean, they had some success already this year to start, winning the Ivy League tournament up in Rhode Island, so that was awesome to see. So we'll get to see Columbia, and then our other team, Farmingdale M3, that's who they're playing tomorrow. So 2 of our teams going to battle at the Ice Hutch tomorrow night. Looking forward to that. I'll be in the rink for New Haven on Sunday. We got Hofstra tomorrow as well, welcoming them back to LISN programming. And, dude, we're like a month away from Nassau starting, too. It's like,
boy,
there were
oh, boy.
We're rolling here, man. We are absolutely rolling. It's wild.
I want to get a little more involved in I just want to be more in touch with the Nassau League, because last year I was like barely involved, and then the championship just kind of hit, and you and the captain are like freaking out about how great this matchup is, and I'm like, give me the backstory, like give me the lore, like what's going on? I had like no idea what was happening, and you guys are like, oh my god, like that was like the greatest game I've ever seen, like, and all those views.
Yeah, no, dude, that was a sick game, and that was like one of the like highest viewed reels, I think, in LIS and Instagram history. Like almost 200,000, something like that. It was, the thing blew up. That was popular. But yeah, that was a crazy overtime. Belmore and Long Beach. Nassau's fun, man. We'll get you in the mix more. You're just far, like they play their games in Bethpage and Long Beach.
Yeah, Rinks is in my backyard.
Rinks is your home.
Yesterday,
you pull out the pitching wedge.
No, my pitching wedge, it does reach. But yesterday, I pulled up an hour early and I played tennis on the handball court by myself, and then just went right in. It was so close. I had the time. I was like, why not? It's a good time.
Why not? Might as well.
I love the Rinks. I love the Rinks for other reasons I can't get into, but I love the Rinks. I love the Timeout Cafe. I love the location, how close it is to my house. It's a
the Rinks is in your blood.
Oh, Rinks
is in your blood.
In my blood is an understatement.
So, like, I think I'm going to ask you a question now. I think we all have like goals with this. What are your goals with this?
With what exactly?
With what you're doing here with LISN, like, you're like, what's where do you want? What do you hope for the next step to be?
Well, the thing is not that I necessarily have always had my heart set on broadcasting. I've always just had my heart set on the world of sports, like that.
Yeah,
this general sector, because it's something that I just love being around. It's so interesting. And when I first when I first started working for Long Island Sports Network, like I've already had experience like in different sectors of sports. So what got me into LI Sports Network was I was interning for Farmingdale State's hockey program while I was still in school going there. And there I did game operations. So I was helping set up, like we do like a 50-50, and it's like $5 to get into the game. So sometimes I'd be working, sometimes I'd be working at the front doing that. Game operations, me and Kevin, we'd be getting ice for the pucks before games and stuff. I'd run the scoreboard some games. I'd do game sheet, which is stat tracking, all that stuff. It's a good time. So like I had the real game operation side of it all. Then through working for Farmingdale, I started, I had the connection with LISN. I started working for LISN. Now I'm doing the behind the scenes. I really enjoy the producing part of LISN, but these hands were gifted with camera ability, and I tend to always be put on camera for a lot of games. But I don't really complain. Back to the whole thing with the like capturing the moment. Like I like that Mike feels that I'm good at capturing the moment really well.
That's why you were picked for the national championship. I think I think it's a nod to you and your ability. Like you said.
I brought the wrong shoes for that national championship. I needed to bring the Hokas. I brought the Skechers. No diss to Skechers. They're great shoes, but a week, like it's like 8 days of standing. Like no good. That I needed the Hokas, but so I had that going on. But then last season and returning this season, I worked for Thomas Hickey, now the new color commentator for the New York Islanders, and I make stat sheets for him. And it was always for like the opposing team. It was like whoever the Islanders were playing, and I know I'd write up the potential lineup, the projected lineup. Stats for each player, coach information, leaderboards for the team, current news, storylines to watch, like if Artemi Panarin is 1 point shy of whatever goals or something like that. Like, so like I've really touched on like a lot of the kind of big aspects of it. And then for past 6 years of my life, I've been working at a golf course, and the amount of outings that I've been a part of, man. And like, I know it's not hockey, but like that sort of running an event, like being a part of a program where you're like staging an event, and there's hundreds of people coming in. Like I've been through like all those aspects, and it's safe to say the verdict is in. I like them all. So I'm really undecided. I'm like really where I want to go. I love doing what I do with LISN. I love working with Hickey. Working at a country club is just the best. But I love like working outings. I really enjoyed like the closeness of game operations for Farmingdale, sitting in between the benches, and like the way the college benches are set up, or at least where most teams play. The penalty boxes are like what's really in between us. So it's like we're here, penalty boxes, benches. So two kids get into a fight or whatever, and they're sent to the box. I'm in the middle of it. Like these guys are barking at each other, and I get it all.
You're having a great time.
Like it was, like I loved it, man. Like I really like it's scratching that itch that I've missed for so long, like out of playing hockey and stuff. And again, like I feel like I would be happy no matter where I landed. I'm just happy that the opportunity I get to really kind of showcase myself with LISN. But
definitely,
I would like you tell me I'm cleaning the toilets in the Rangers locker room, and you probably got me there. So
no, dude, I think what you've done for yourself is you've created options through multiple outlets, and I think that's what we all need. We all need to create options and opportunities for ourselves. Like you're a hell of a cameraman, you're a hell of a producer. Obviously, I think your work with Hickey has gotten you very good at like data collection. And
data being able to, it's more data sorting. I was always collecting data. I just had nothing to do like with all that information.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. But like you said, I think created options for yourself if you wanted to go work a camera for Fox Sports, you could. If you wanted to go work a camera for, if you wanted to go be a producer for CBS, you could. If you wanted to be in game operations for or the Rangers or event operations at Madison Square Garden, you could. If you wanted to, be in a front office somewhere working something in that realm, you could. And that's, I think, that the most important thing is, I think that's what Commander in Chief. That's what I love about this job is our Commander in Chief provides us, like you said, the opportunity for growth and the opportunity to try different things like this podcast where we can, do new stuff and continue to build our portfolios.
Sector. Yeah, that's another sports sector I've now checked off my list.
Podcasting.
I believe somebody once said you didn't hit rock bottom until you started your own podcast.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Hey, maybe we could be like that guy Hogdale that they brought in to Barstool to commentate the Yankees and Red Sox game.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we'll be like that guy one day.
If we're lucky.
If we're lucky.
No, if we're lucky, Barstool gets absorbed by LISN. And we got Dave Portnoy making stat sheets for us.
Good morning, LISM with Dave Portnoy.
Yeah, that's it. That's the dream right there.
Oh, that's gold. That'd be great. That'd be freaking great. But no, love what we do here. Love the opportunity that we're given. It's awesome getting to call the high school and college games as frequently as we do. I'm super grateful I get an opportunity to call games over at Delphi University. That's always a lot of fun. Just anything to keep building the portfolio, building the brand, and get us all to the pros one day, right?
Yeah, guess so. I've met a lot of cool people in all of these assets, working with Farmingdale, like directly LISN through Hickey. I got Clutterbuck when I walk into UBS Arena, like, sup, bud? Like, it's I hated this guy growing up, man. I'm a Rangers fan. If you couldn't tell, I hated this guy growing up.
My boy.
And now he sees me. He's like, oh, love the stash. He trimmed it a little. I'm like, yep, Clutter. Uh-huh.
That's awesome. No, that's awesome. Yeah, man, it's super cool what you guys are doing. I mean, I know Gabe's going to be a great addition to your team with Hickey this season.
Oh, I'm pumped.
Gabe's going to be a great addition to that. But no, I mean, I think it also speaks to the team we got here at LISM. We got a great crew, a lot of driven people, a lot of people that want to continue to elevate this thing, take it to the next level. And I've gone by this kind of motto my whole life, especially in hockey. Like, the bar's always getting higher. The standards are high, and we got to be blowing the standards away each time. It's another, kind of philosophy I try to take into everything. And, early showing this team that we got here at LISN, we're a good group. We're a solid group. We all care. And I think we all kind of go by the philosophy that you and I talked about earlier of we're going to create moments and we're going to perform to the best of our abilities and showcase the players that are performing to the best of their abilities.
Yeah. Have a good time doing it.
And we have a good time doing it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Could not have said it better myself, Paul. Well,
yeah, I feel like this might be a good place to wrap it up unless you have anything else to say.
I know. I mean, listen, I think, like I said, you and I both know it's been a fun first couple of weeks. Still a lot of hockey to be played and excited for it, but excited to see where going back to what we first started talking about, excited to see where the Suffolk season goes and, the trajectory of some of these programs. And excited to really get into the midst of the college hockey season starting tomorrow. It's a bright time here at LISN, busy time for sure, but most fun time of the year.
Oh yeah, I can't get enough of it. You can't get enough of it until you've had enough of it. It's
exactly. I'll have enough in March. Have enough in March. get through playoffs and nationals, and it's like, all right, now we're done. Now we can take a break. But it's all worth it, man. It's all fun. It's all. I mean, like I said, we create memories for them, but it's also memorable for us too. We've had our fair share of laughs and good times in the rink and out of the rink. I know that for a fact. So, no, like I said, man, it's we keep going. High school. Before we know it, we're gonna be back in UBS doing the FDNY NYPD game. So,
Oh yeah, that's something we didn't even touch on at all. That was awesome.
yeah, we'll have to save that for a future episode. We'll talk about that again. A future Paul and Travis episode. We'll talk about FDNY and NYPD for sure.
All right, I think that will do it for this week's episode. We appreciate you joining in. Be sure to follow LISN on LI Sports Network on Instagram, subscribe on YouTube. Follow Travis at Travis Quigley 8 on Instagram, I believe. Follow me at Paul.Trentini on Instagram. And we thank you for joining us for this episode, and we will see you next week. Find yourself together on Farmingdale?
Yeah. So my stallmate Tommy Smith, we actually played developmental arrows together from 6 to about. We played our first year.